Admiral James Thompson stood at the window of his office aboard the Earth Defense Station Alpha, his weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as he stared into the vast darkness of space. 20 years had passed since humanity joined the Galactic Council, and everything seemed perfect, too perfect as it turned out. The first sign of trouble came through his private quantum computer terminal. A series of encrypted messages, not meant for human eyes, flashed across his screen. The Council's advanced encryption was good, but they hadn't counted on humanity's gift for breaking codes. "Computer, translate the last sequence," he ordered, his voice steady despite the growing unease in his gut. The artificial intelligence worked silently for a moment before displaying the results. What he read made his blood run cold. The Galactic Council, led by the oldest races in the galaxy, had voted to quarantine Earth and all its colonies. Their reason? Humanity's aggressive tendencies and unprecedented rate of military advancement pose an existential threat to galactic peace. Thompson's hand curled into a fist. Humanity had played by their rules, shared their technology, and fought alongside them against space pirates and rogue states. Now they planned to trap humanity in its own solar system, cutting off colonial worlds that housed millions of human settlers. He pressed a button on his desk. "Get me the Joint Chiefs." Emergency code read 7. Within hours, military leaders from Earth's combined forces gathered in a secure underground bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains. The room buzzed with tension as Thompson shared his discovery. "They're moving their fleets into position as we speak," he explained, pointing to a holographic map showing hundreds of alien ships approaching human space. "The Council plans to activate their containment barriers in exactly 48 hours. General Laura Martinez, commander of the Mars Defense Force, spoke up. "What about our colonists on Proxima B and New Eden?" "Already cut off," Thompson replied grimly. "The Council's ships move faster than we anticipated. But what they don't know is that we've been preparing for something like this since day one." The room fell silent. Everyone present knew about Protocol Omega, humanity's insurance policy against alien betrayal. While presenting a face of peaceful cooperation to the Council, Earth had secretly built massive underground shipyards on Mars and several asteroid bases. The aliens thought they knew the full extent of human military capability. They were wrong. As the military leaders discussed their options, another alert flashed across the main screen. The Council's friendly ambassadors were requesting an emergency meeting with Earth's government. "Let them come," Thompson said, a cold smile forming on his face. "Let them think we don't know anything." The next day, in the grand meeting hall of the United Earth Government, alien ambassadors from 7 different species gathered to deliver their message. They spoke of safety protocols, temporary measures, and necessary precautions. Their words were honey-coated poison. Earth's political leaders played their parts perfectly, expressing shock and concern while buying time for the military to enact Protocol Omega. As the ambassadors left, believing their deception successful, humanity's true response was already in motion. That night, as Council ships moved to activate their containment barriers, they found Earth's orbital stations completely empty. No ships, no personnel, nothing but automated maintenance systems. The aliens celebrated what they thought was humanity's submission to their superior might. They didn't notice the quantum fluctuations in the asteroid belt. They didn't detect the massive energy signatures beneath Mars' surface. And they certainly didn't know about the stealth ships already positioned near their fleet's weak points. Admiral Thompson stood once again at his window, but now he was aboard humanity's secret flagship, hidden in plain sight among the asteroids. He watched the Council's ships through specially designed quantum blasts that allowed him to see their positions clearly. "Send the message to all human forces," he ordered. "Operation Ghost begins in 6 hours. Let's show the Council exactly why they were right to fear us." As the orders went out, Thompson thought about the aliens' fatal mistake. They had assumed humanity's cooperation meant weakness. They had forgotten the most important lesson of Earth's history. Humans were at their most dangerous when backed into a corner. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy why you should never, ever betray Earth. Deep beneath the red sands of Mars, Captain Mary Wells walked through a massive underground shipyard. The sight still took her breath away. Hundreds of stealth ships, each one black as space itself, lined up in perfect rows. Project Ghost was no longer just a plan on paper. It was humanity's sword in the darkness. Status report. She called out to her chief engineer, Tom Baker, who was checking the quantum drives of the lid ship. "Better than we hoped, Captain," he replied, his face glowing from the holographic display. "These babies can slip through the Council's detection nets like they're not even there. They'll never see us coming." Mary nodded, remembering how they'd discovered humanity's unique gift. While testing the new quantum drives, they found that human brains could naturally sync with quantum fields in ways the aliens couldn't. It was like humans had a sixth sense for quantum mechanics, and they'd kept this advantage hidden from the Council for years. Her communicator buzzed. Admiral Thompson's voice came through, clear and urgent. "Captain, we've got a situation. The Council's blockade has cut off contact with New Eden Colony. 5,000 civilians are trapped there." "Let me guess," Mary replied. "You want me to do something crazy?" "I want you to test Project Ghost in real combat conditions. Get a message to those colonists. Let them know they're not alone." Mary looked at her ship, the Shadow Striker. It was time to see if all their preparation would pay off. "Consider it done, Admiral. Wells out." She gathered her crew. Just 20 of Earth's best operators. Small crews meant smaller quantum signatures, perfect for stealth missions. As they boarded, Mary felt the familiar excitement of a challenging mission mixed with the weight of responsibility. "Listen up," she addressed her crew in the briefing room. "We're taking Shadow Striker through Council space to reach New Eden. The colony needs to know about Protocol Omega, and we need to test our stealth tech against real Council sensors." The crew's faces showed determination. They'd trained for this, preparing in secret while pretending to be a simple cargo ship crew to any watching aliens. As Shadow Striker lifted off, Mary activated the quantum camouflage. The ship vanished from all normal detection methods, becoming one with the background radiation of space. They slipped past the Council's blockade ships like a ghost through walls. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the military command had relocated to the Burrow, a command center carved into the heart of a mountain. General Martinez coordinated with resistance cells on every human world, preparing them for the coming fight. "The Council thinks they've trapped us," she told her staff, "but they've just activated our trap card. Every human colony has underground bunkers and hidden weapons. We've been ready for betrayal since day one." In orbit around Jupiter, hidden shipyards inside hollow moons churned out more stealth ships. The Council's sensors showed only normal ice moon readings, while inside, humans worked tirelessly to build their revenge fleet. On Shadow Striker, Mary's team approached New Eden. The Council had 8 warships in orbit, all pointing their guns at the human colony below. Mary smiled. None of their sensors had detected her ship. "Begin transmission," she ordered. The quantum communicator sent a tight beam message to the colony's hidden receivers. "New Eden Command, this is Captain Wells. Protocol Omega is in effect. Maintain radio silence but prepare your forces. Help is coming." The response came back on the same secure channel. "Understood, Captain. We've been keeping our teeth sharp down here. Just give us the signal." As Shadow Striker turned to head back to Earth, Mary sent one last message to Admiral Thompson. "Phase 1 complete. The Council's blockade is blind and deaf. Our people are ready." The real victory wasn't just reaching New Eden. It was proving that Project Ghost worked perfectly. Humanity could move invisible through Council space, coordinating with their colonies right under the aliens' noses. In the Burrow, Admiral Thompson received Mary's report with satisfaction. Everything was going according to plan. The Council thought they were containing humanity, but they were really just gathering all their targets in one place. "Send word to all commands," he ordered. "Begin Operation Nightmare. It's time to show the Council what humanity can really do." The Shadow War was about to begin, and Earth's revenge fleet was ready to strike. The Council's fleet admiral, a tall blue-skinned alien, stood proudly on his command ship's bridge. His forces surrounded Earth's solar system in what he thought was a perfect blockade. 3 days had passed since they activated the containment barriers, and no human ships had tried to escape. Victory seemed certain. "Status report," he demanded from his crew. "All human orbital stations appear abandoned, sir. Their ships must be hiding on the surface. These primitives think they can avoid us forever." The admiral smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Soon they'll have no choice but to." His words cut off as alarms suddenly screamed across every ship in the Council fleet. Multiple attack warnings flashed on their screens. Impossible readings came from everywhere at once. In the darkness of space, hundreds of black ships appeared out of nowhere. They had been there all along, hidden by quantum technology that the Council didn't even know existed. Leading this ghost fleet was Admiral Thompson's flagship, the Phantom Dawn. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta." Thompson's voice rang out across the human fleet's secure channels. "Show them why you never corner a human." The ghost fleet struck from all directions at once. Their quantum-enhanced weapons cut through Council shields like they weren't even there. Council ships tried to return fire, but their targeting systems couldn't lock onto the human vessels that seemed to flicker in and out of reality. Meanwhile, Captain Mary Wells led a strike team of 5 ships toward the Council's main communication hub. "Remember the plan," she told her pilots. "Take out their quantum relays. Don't let them call for help." The Shadow Striker and its sister ships swept in, firing precision shots at communication arrays. Within minutes, the Council fleet was cut off from reinforcements. The Council admiral watched in horror as his ships exploded one after another. His mighty fleet, which had seemed so powerful, was being torn apart by an enemy he couldn't even properly detect. "Impossible," he shouted as another explosion rocked his ship. "Their technology was inferior. We monitored them for 20 years. "Sir," one of his officers called out, "we're detecting energy signatures from Mars, and the asteroid belt, and Jupiter's moons. They're massive." From hidden bases across the solar system, humanity's full military might emerged. Shipyards that had been concealed inside asteroids and moons launched thousands more vessels. The Council's worst nightmare had come true. Humans had been building in secret, preparing for this very day. On Earth's surface, General Martinez coordinated the ground response. "Launch the fighters," she ordered. "Clear our skies of any remaining Council ships." Earth's atmosphere filled with sleek fighter craft, their designs unlike anything the Council had seen before. They moved with impossible agility, using their pilots' natural quantum attunement to pull off maneuvers that defied normal physics. Back on Phantom Dawn, Admiral Thompson watched the battle unfold exactly as planned. "Send the signal to all colonies," he commanded. "Operation Nightmare is in full effect." Across human space, on every world the Council thought they had contained, hidden bunkers opened, underground bases activated. The Council's blockade ships suddenly found themselves under attack from the very colonies they thought they had trapped. The Council admiral's ship shuddered as another blast hit them. Through his viewport, he watched a human stealth ship emerge from quantum camouflage right in front of him. Its weapons were aimed directly at his bridge. "This is Admiral Thompson." A transmission cut through their communications. "Your fleet is defeated. Your blockade has failed. Surrender now, or face total destruction." The Council admiral looked at his tactical display. 70% of his fleet was already destroyed or disabled. The humans had outmaneuvered them completely. "How?" he asked as he gave the surrender order. "How did we not see this coming?" The answer came back, cold and clear. "You saw what we wanted you to see. Remember this day. This is what happens when you try to cage humanity." As the Council ships lowered their shields in surrender, Admiral Thompson sent one final message to Earth Command. Phase 1 complete. The Council's fleet is neutralized. Shall we proceed with Phase 2? The response was immediate. Proceed, Admiral. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity will never bow to tyranny. The first battle was over. Earth's revenge had only just begun. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council had never been so chaotic. Representatives from 200 alien species shouted and argued as news of their fleet's defeat spread across the galaxy. The mighty council ships, which had never lost a major battle in 10,000 years, had been crushed by the very humans they tried to contain. Order. We must have order. The High Speaker's voice boomed across the chamber. His species was known for their calm wisdom, but even he looked shaken. We must discuss this crisis. Just then, the massive hologram projector in the center of the chamber activated by itself. The aliens fell silent as Ambassador Robert Gray's image appeared, 20 feet tall and crystal clear. He stood straight and confident, wearing a simple Earth military uniform. "Greetings, Council members," he said calmly. "I believe now would be a good time to discuss Earth's terms." "How dare you hack into our secure systems?" one of the council leaders shouted. Gray smiled. "The same way we've been reading your private messages for the past 20 years. Did you really think we showed you all our capabilities?" The chamber erupted again until the High Speaker called for silence. "Speak your terms, human. First, every council ship will withdraw from human space immediately. Second, all trade restrictions against Earth and its colonies will end. Third, we want the names of everyone who voted for the containment plan. You cannot make demands of the Council." Another alien leader protested. "We are the supreme authority of the galaxy." "Are you?" Gray's hologram gestured, and suddenly the chamber's screen showed footage of the recent battle. Council ships exploded silently in space as human stealth vessels appeared and disappeared like ghosts. "Because it seems to me that authority should be backed by power." In the back of the chamber, representatives from smaller alien nations watched with great interest. Many of them had suffered under the Council's guidance for centuries. Now they sought a chance for change. The first message came from the trading worlds of the Outer Rim. "Earth, we would be interested in discussing a separate peace treaty." Then the Mining Confederation sent their message. "Our worlds would also like to open diplomatic channels with Earth." One by one, smaller powers began breaking ranks. The Council's unified front cracked as ancient rivalries and grudges resurfaced. "This is outrageous." One of the Council leaders slammed his fist on his desk. "Who gave humans this quantum technology? Which of you betrayed the Council?" Ambassador Gray laughed. "Nobody gave us anything. Humans naturally understand quantum fields better than any species in the galaxy. We kept that quiet because we knew you would fear us. It seems we were right to be careful." As if to prove his point, 3 human stealth ships suddenly decloaked right outside the Council chamber's massive windows. Nobody had detected their approach. Nobody knew how many more might be out there. The High Speaker raised his hands in defeat. Perhaps we acted hastily with the containment plan." "Yes, you did," Gray agreed. "And now you'll face the consequences. Earth is forming a new alliance, the Free Systems Coalition. Any world that wishes to join us will receive fair treatment and protection. Those who stand with the Council." He let the threat hang in the air. More messages flooded in from worlds wanting to join Earth's coalition. The Council's power base was crumbling by the minute. "You have 1 standard day to accept our terms," Gray announced. "After that, we'll consider your silence as a declaration of continued hostility." His hologram vanished, leaving the Council in chaos. The mighty leaders who had ruled the galaxy for millennia now faced a choice: submit to human demands or risk destruction. In his office on Earth, Ambassador Gray ended the transmission and smiled. "Admiral Thompson, the political attack was successful. They're falling apart just as we predicted." "Excellent," Thompson's voice came through his communicator. "Proceed with Phase 3. Let's see how many worlds join us when they realize the Council isn't as powerful as they thought." The real victory wasn't just beating the Council's fleet, it was showing the galaxy that a better way was possible. Earth's revenge would change everything. Captain Mary Wells stood on the bridge of Shadow Striker, watching her tactical display as human forces approached the Proxima colony. The Council had placed their strongest remaining fleet here, thinking their defense grid was unbeatable. They were about to learn another harsh lesson about human ingenuity. "All ships, activate quantum tunneling," she ordered. The new technology, developed in secret by Earth's scientists, allowed human ships to briefly exist in multiple dimensions at once. The Council's defense grid lit up as 50 human ships simply phased through their supposedly impenetrable barrier. Their weapons, designed to stop ships in normal space, were useless against vessels that could partially exist in other dimensions. "I want this colony liberated with minimal damage," Mary commanded. "These are precision strikes only. Show them why humans excel at surgical operations." Her fleet moved with perfect coordination, their crews using their natural quantum attunement to perform impossible maneuvers. Council gunners couldn't track targets that seemed to teleport short distances or split into multiple images before becoming solid again to fire. Back at the Council's military headquarters, their best scientists struggled to understand what they were seeing. "It's not possible," one alien researcher shouted, his tentacles waving in frustration. "No species can manipulate quantum fields this way." Another scientist, older and wiser, shook his head. "We made a terrible mistake. Humans didn't just copy our technology. They understood it in ways we never could. Their brains are quantum computers all on their own." On Earth, Admiral Thompson coordinated the broader strategy. Hidden bases across human space activated at once, revealing armies of combat robots guided by human-AI hybrid systems. This was another secret the Council never discovered. Humans had found a way to safely merge their consciousness with artificial intelligence. "Status report," Thompson called out to his command staff. "New Eden colony liberated, sir. Proxima battle going exactly as planned. The Mining Confederation has officially joined our coalition, and their ships are moving to support us." Thompson nodded with satisfaction. Everything was falling into place. The Council had thought they were dealing with a young, unsophisticated species. Instead, they had attacked a race that had spent 20 years preparing for this exact scenario. In space near Proxima, Mary's fleet had already disabled the Council's main warships. Her crews used their quantum abilities to target enemy engines and weapons with surgical precision, deliberately avoiding life support systems. "We're not like them," she told her crew. "We don't need to kill to win. Just show them they can't beat us." The Council's admiral watched in horror as his ships were systematically disabled. Each human attack seemed to bypass their strongest defenses like they weren't even there. When he finally called for surrender, his voice shook with fear and awe. "How?" he asked as human troops boarded his ship. "How did you develop all this technology without us knowing?" Mary walked onto his bridge personally to accept his surrender. "Simple. While you watched our official research facilities, our real work happened in places you never thought to look. Underwater labs, underground bases, hidden facilities in asteroid cores. Humans are very good at keeping secrets when we need to." Reports flew across the galaxy as more Council forces fell to human attacks. Each battle showed new human capabilities that shocked and terrified their opponents. Some ships seemed to predict attacks before they happened. Others could split into multiple copies, making it impossible to know which was real until it was too late. In the Council's main military base, their supreme commander received a devastating report. Their best tactical eye had analyzed the humans' battle strategy and reached a frightening conclusion. They were still holding back. "They could have destroyed us completely," the AI reported. "Every move they've made has been precisely calculated to disable rather than destroy. They're not just beating us. They're showing the galaxy that they're better than us." Admiral Thompson reviewed the day's victories with satisfaction. Phase 3 was complete, and the Council's military power was crumbling. More importantly, Humanity had shown they could win without becoming the monsters the Council thought they were. "Send word to Ambassador Gray," he ordered. "Tell him to begin the final phase. It's time to reshape the galaxy." The Council had feared humanity's potential for violence. Instead, they had awakened humanity's talent for strategic genius. Their revenge wasn't just about winning. It was about winning the right way. Ambassador Robert Gray walked into the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council for the first time in person. The room fell silent as he approached the center platform. Unlike the Council leaders in their fancy robes, he wore a simple Earth diplomatic uniform. He carried a small data cube in his hand. "Honorable representatives of the galaxy," he began, his voice clear and strong. "Today, I bring truth." He placed the data cube on the platform. A massive hologram appeared above the chamber, showing thousands of secret documents. The Council leaders' faces turned pale, or their species' equivalent of shock. "For 20 years, Gray continued, we've collected evidence of Council corruption, stolen technology, destroyed civilizations, entire species kept as slaves. Today, everyone sees the truth." The smaller nations' representatives leaned forward, their attention locked on the evidence floating above them. Centuries of Council lies were exposed in an instant. "This is a trick," one Council leader shouted. "These documents are fake." Gray smiled. "Are they? Then you won't mind if we broadcast them across every quantum communication channel in the galaxy. Let's ask your people what they think." Before anyone could stop him, the documents began transmitting to every world in Council space. The chamber erupted in chaos as representatives received urgent messages from their home planets. "My people are rioting in the streets. The mining guilds are demanding answers. Our colony worlds are declaring independence." In Earth's military command center, Admiral Thompson watched the political chaos unfold with satisfaction. "Status report on the Free Systems Coalition." His aide brought up a holographic map. 47 star systems have already joined, sir. Another 112 are in negotiations. The Council is losing control by the minute. Back in the Council chamber, Gray revealed the next part of Earth's plan. "We're establishing a new form of galactic governance, one based on fair representation, shared technology, and mutual defense. The Free Systems Coalition welcomes all species who want true freedom." More representatives stood up, officially announcing their world's intention to leave the Council. Each departure was another crack in the Council's 10,000-year grip on power. The High Speaker, seeing his authority crumbling, tried one last desperate move. "If you broadcast these documents, you'll create chaos. Entire economies will collapse." "No," Gray corrected him. "We've already prepared economic support for transitioning worlds. Earth's quantum technology will help rebuild infrastructures. Our AI systems will prevent market crashes. We're not here to destroy. We're here to rebuild better." On dozens of worlds across the galaxy, humans began sharing their advanced technology with their new allies. Captain Mary Wells led a fleet delivering quantum communication systems to former Council worlds. The message was clear: join Earth's coalition, and you'll be treated as equals. "This is how humans wage peace," she told the grateful leaders of a newly freed mining world. "We share our strength instead of using it to dominate." The Council's remaining loyalists watched in despair as their power structure collapsed around them. They had spent centuries keeping other species dependent on them, only to watch humans freely give away technologies they had hoarded. In a private chamber, the High Speaker confronted Ambassador Gray. "Why not just destroy us with your superior weapons? Why this political game?" Gray's answer was simple: because humans understand something you never did. Real power isn't about controlling others through fear. It's about inspiring them to stand with you. He looked out at the chamber, where former Council worlds were already signing treaties to join the coalition. "Your mistake wasn't just attacking us. It was thinking that humans only excel at war. We're actually much better at changing things for the better." As the day ended, Admiral Thompson received the final count. Over half the galaxy had pledged to join Earth's coalition. The Council's power was broken not by weapons, but by the truth. "Send the final message to all Coalition worlds," Thompson ordered. "Operation Freedom is complete. The age of Council tyranny is over. Tomorrow we begin building a better galaxy, together." Earth's revenge wasn't just successful, it had transformed into something greater. They had turned their moment of triumph into hope for every species in the galaxy. 1 year after Earth's revenge began, the galaxy had changed forever. The Great Dome of the former Council chamber now served as the meeting place for the Free Systems Coalition. Representatives from 300 worlds gathered to mark a historic moment, the final dissolution of the Galactic Council. Admiral Thompson stood at the speaker's platform, his uniform decorated with the new symbols of the Coalition. Beside him, Captain Mary Wells and Ambassador Gray watched as the last Council leaders approached to formally surrender their power. 10,000 years of Council rule ends today, Thompson announced to the gathered species. Not with violence, but with hope for a better future. The High Speaker, now just a regular representative of his species, handed over the ancient seal of authority. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from something closer to relief. "We were wrong about humans," he admitted to the assembly. "We feared their strength, but should have respected their wisdom." In orbit above, the combined fleets of the Coalition performed a unity display. Human stealth ships flew alongside vessels from 100 different worlds. The quantum technology the humans had freely shared now helped bind the galaxy together instead of being hoarded by a few. "Look at what we've achieved in just 1 year," Mary said to her crew as they watched from Shadow Striker. "Every world in the Coalition now has access to quantum communications. Trade routes are safer than ever. Former enemies work together." On the surfaces of countless planets, the changes were even more dramatic. Human AI systems helped modernize agricultural worlds, ending famines that the Council had allowed to persist. Underground cities were transformed into research centers. Species that had been kept apart by Council laws now worked together, combining their unique abilities in ways that benefited everyone. Ambassador Gray took the platform next. "Today marks not just the end of the Council, but the beginning of true galactic democracy. Every world, regardless of size or species, will have an equal voice in the Coalition." The chamber erupted in cheers. Many representatives had tears in their eyes, or their species' equivalent of emotional display. Centuries of oppression had ended not with revenge, but with liberation. In Earth's military command center, General Martinez reviewed the latest reports with satisfaction. "The last militant Council loyalists have surrendered. Our quantum detection grid shows no more hidden fleets. The war is truly over." But humans had learned from the Council's mistakes. Even as they celebrated peace, Earth maintained its secret research bases and hidden shipyards. "Peace through strength," Thompson had said, but strength used wisely. The Coalition's first official act was to establish the Galactic Science Academy. Unlike the Council's restricted research facilities, this would be open to all species. Humans worked alongside former enemies, combining their quantum understanding with alien technologies to solve problems that had plagued the galaxy for millennia. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" Mary asked Thompson as they watched alien children playing with human kids in the chamber's gardens. "When we first discovered their betrayal, I thought this would end in destruction." Thompson smiled. "Humans are good at war because we've had so much practice at it. But we're even better at building things. The Council never understood that." The Assembly's final vote was unanimous. The Galactic Council was officially dissolved, its assets distributed to help developing worlds. As the former Council leaders left the chamber, many looked relieved. The burden of maintaining their lies and oppression had grown too heavy. Ambassador Gray made the final announcement. "Let the history books record that humanity's revenge was not destruction, but reconstruction. We didn't just defeat the Council, we made their entire system of control obsolete." As the celebrations began across thousands of worlds, Thompson sent one last message to Earth. "Mission accomplished. But our real work is just beginning." The stars looked different now, filled with possibility instead of threat. Humanity had proven itself not just through superior strength or technology, but through wisdom and compassion. They had taken their moment of justified revenge and transformed it into something greater, hope for every species in the galaxy. The Council had feared humans would destroy their power. Instead, humans had replaced it with something better. That was the greatest revenge of all.